On the 16th and 17th June 2016, EUIPO hosted in Alicante a youth event to discuss and develop inspiring and creative ways to communicate the importance of intellectual property and its respect by youth in Europe. More than 60 young people from across the 28 EU member states, youth association representatives, artists, entrepreneurs, bloggers, gamers and influencers were invited to an interactive and open exercise to reflect in intense workshop activities on the results of the Youth Scoreboard published in April, as well as on the Ideas Powered initiative.
What we are doing is starting conversations about issues and items regarding the internet that so often were silenced. And we're talking about them for young people in particular, a group of people who are often marginalised and silenced because they should be seen and not heard, where we're bringing them to the forefront. We are giving them a voice and making sure that what they create and what they use is legally safe for them, and then legally has great repercussions for the local community and the environments in which they live.
EUIPO expressed its wish to listen to the European youth, with a view to communicate more effectively to this young target audience and engage in meaningful conversations on the topic of intellectual property and its respect.
It is crucial that we as young people are involved in this discussion because it refers to our problems, and we have maybe a slightly different perspective. We use different tools to communicate. We use more social media. We search for solutions in different places than people older than us. So it was great that we could discuss the issues with people our age. We could together come up with solutions that fit our perspective on the world, that improve our awareness, raise our awareness on the topics, and definitely the fact that we as young people have influence over things that regard our matters is the biggest possible advantage that the organization of Ideas Powered has given us.
Participants discussed trust of websites and web shops, ability to distinguish reliable sources from unreliable ones, the importance of sharing but also protecting personal data, the consequences of the purchase of counterfeit goods, and the downloading from illegal sites for small artists and creators, as well as the importance of quality, availability and affordability of physical and digital products.
Certaines personnes qui nous prennent des fois certaines idées ou ce genre de choses, ou même qui nous reprennent notre contenu donc, de façon illégale. Donc c'est vrai que on est pas mal touchés. Forcément j'ai grandi avec Internet. Et on va dire que quand j'ai commencé vraiment à être dedans dans les 11-12 ans, tout le monde était un peu en mode « Ah tiens, je veux ce jeu, on va le télécharger ». Un de mes potes, il dit « Oh, j'ai ce jeu-là, on le copie et il n'y a pas de problème ». Maintenant, je pense beaucoup plus à tout ce qu'il y a derrière. J'ai beaucoup de personnes dans mes contacts qui travaillent dans des jeux vidéo, des petits jeux indépendants, ou qui même des fois font le dessin, la première page d'un jeu ou ce genre de choses. Et du coup, clairement, on est beaucoup plus impacté vu qu'on est directement dedans, quoi.
I think one of the biggest challenges that's going to be faced by governments and whoever is controlling and monitoring things such as intellectual property is the speed at which technology evolves and the speed at which we share. So a piece of content is created, perhaps it's a video or an image, and it becomes viral. But all of a sudden millions of people have seen it and have shared it, and the original creator is not getting credited. But then also when you're creating a policy in relation to copyright or plagiarism or protecting one's intellectual property, by the time that piece of documentation has been approved by various different departments and ministers and governments, it's almost out of date. So how do we come up with a body that, I suppose, represents Europe, represents the time in which we are living in, that is constantly updated? And how do we encourage to train these people and encourage professional development? We have a big, big task in our hands, but with the young people who are here today, it's really, I suppose, encouraging to see how enthusiastic they are about making a change.
I felt like it was really interesting to have all these people from all around Europe with different opinions, different approaches and different professions as well.
Day 2 focused on the Ideas Powered initiative. Participants discussed, in a World Cafe format, how Ideas Powered could help to further engage youth and how youth and the participants could contribute to the initiative's objectives. In a dynamic atmosphere, groups changed and proposals were built upon and fine-tuned to become clear recommendations to develop the initiative and generate more conversations in the issues of intellectual property and its respect.
I wish that the discussion was a bit more aware of the privilege that we in this group are having. That there's a lot of people who can't afford authentic products, and it's really a question about what is accessible and what is affordable. And therefore, I wish that we would have a conversation that is more about how to make IP accessible, diversible, affordable, so that piracy can once and for all disappear, because piracy is hurtful for especially the artists.
The EUIPO thanked all participants for attending and for showing such enthusiasm during the event. The results of the discussions are now being consolidated and will be shared with participants. Next steps and new initiatives to be continued on Ideas Powered.